Hello, everyone, and welcome to the EdTALK tea today, not coffee, because guess what? Because we are having tea. Today, I'm joined by Vineet, and I've known Vineet since 6 days. This- Actually, I came across a post that she has posted about manifestation, and it dragged my attention. So it was a video. I enjoyed it a lot. Vineet were speaking about the power of manifestation, and it's a
Okay.
topic that I'm really interested in. So 2 days back, I had a more discussion with Vineet, and I felt that she needs to share what she shared with me with a bigger audience. So welcome, Vineet. Tell us more about yourself.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here with you. So let's talk about the positivity that we feel around us and the energies that you feel about around us. What do you think? What energies? How it helps us, each one of us. So if I ask you about your motivation or the energies, the vibes you feel around you, how it helps you to grow in the world of AI, how will you define that? Like, how are you going to say that?
I would say in a word of too much stress and everything is moving very fast.
Exactly.
You need to have a good mental health. You need to have a power from inside in order to be able to deal with a lot of changes. You need to have some kind of stability inside, and this is something you get from your family. You get from the people that surrounds you. You get by encouragement when you have failure, when you are struggling. So definitely this can make a big difference in your productivity, in the way you process in life. Yeah.
That's what we call human connection.
Yeah.
Human connection. I'm not saying we cannot. If I talk about AI, artificial intelligence as in whole, I'm talking about human intelligence, human connection here, in a broader picture. Like, how can we balance human connection with AI so that the weightage of both is balanced equally and we are not feeling lost? Because empathy, emotional intelligence, and when we talk about primary education, the primary students, I'm talking about age group of from 4 to 11 or 12. I believe they still need a lot of relationship building. They need to understand friendships. They need to understand empathy, emotional intelligence around them, the human connection. They should know when they're feeling low. They don't have to open ChatGPT to ask for 10 reasons how they should feel better about it. They should have someone to talk to. Like, imagine the memories we have from our childhood of spending time with our families, right? Like, I remember I used to do yoga with my dad. I remember we used to go out during summer vacations, play around, jump around, study together with my siblings, fighting. What are the memories are we giving to our young generation? Especially when I'm talking about primary education. So we, as human, as adults, as teachers, as parents, we should know how to balance it. Balance means, let's say we are in the primary education, we're in the classroom. So AI should be used as a tool, or the technology should be used as a tool, maybe to help in research work, you know. But at the same time, having said that, I'm also talking about the friendship in the classroom, the classmates, when they work together as team, when they're talking, having discussion, that had more value than compared to when you give them iPads. The moment you give them iPads in the classroom, what's going to happen? We all know what's going to happen, what happens at home.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying, as teachers, it's our responsibility that we should know how to balance it in the classroom. We should able to tell our students that, when you feel low, you can come to your teacher. You can talk about your feelings. You can talk to your friends. Go out and play around, have fun, live the life the way, the students should live. So let me tell you, in the morning when you told me we're going to have this discussion, I was just, and again, I opened ChatGPT to ask ChatGPT about what's the percentage of students around the world, the children around the world, are focused more on technology. You'll be surprised. It says 2 hours the primary students watch on iPad.
Daily.
And yes, and in UAE, it's 37.7 percentage. Less than 7 hours. That means It could be more than 5 to 6 hours. And when we do this, and again, it's not my words, it's ChatGPT, AI, it tells emotional intelligence, health issues, behavior issues. That's what happens. So all I'm saying that we should know how to balance it, you know. When I say about, if you have seen my videos, I've talked about manifestation, positivity, how we should communicate with each other to understand the feelings, love yourself. All these terms are only possible if we know how to balance it. As
Exactly.
parents, as teachers, I believe it's everyone's responsibility because that child trusts you
Yeah.
for everything you're doing in front of them. So all I'm saying that we should know how to balance it. So what's your thoughts on that? Come on.
Uh, I would say I can't agree more. Now, I am a person who works in the AI field and I work in education. I'm a promoter for AI applications. I encourage educators to use AI, but before we say use, to be aware about how to use it. And this is very important point. I can see that what's happening because things are moving quickly, people are jumping into applications directly. So I have an AI tool. I just jump and use it. Maybe I need to spend some time to understand it, uh, get the awareness around how to use it so that it serves my purpose. So as a teacher, your purpose is to connect with the humans, teach
Exactly.
them, teach them how to express themselves, teach them how to speak up when they need, especially. And we jumped into the topic without giving introduction about yourself. You are a primary teacher, taking care of, for me, the most critical age. So yeah, so I believe we cannot say that we cannot use technology nowadays. It's a fact. Maybe the iPad, I'm not allowing my kids to use iPad, but when they go to the school, even in primary, maybe an iPad will be given to them to solve a question. Now,
Exactly.
the mission is, I think, how we can merge both together. Maybe they can work on iPad, but together. So we can, as you said, we can keep the balance. Maybe if they have to do the project online or using digital means, they can still do it. But at the same time, we look at the other side that they are using this as tools, but still using human connection
Yeah.
skills. So
Yeah.
I think this
They're
is
not
the
losing
approach.
the
Yeah, if we look at AI and technologies as enhancing tools, supportive tools, and we take care of the human part, definitely, we will have even better productivity because AI represents a big opportunity for everyone. It's access to knowledge.
it
It
makes your work
facilitates.
easy. It
Yeah,
makes your
yeah,
work easy. It saves your time.
yeah,
But at the same time, we should not disconnect with the human connection, the
exactly.
creative, the imagination of our students. That
Yeah.
should be protected. And as I said, it's our responsibility to protect that.
Yeah.
And how we are doing that and how we are planning towards it, that's all, it's up to us as adults.
Yeah, I agree. I will take the opportunity speaking with you to highlight on a very important part. And honestly, I would like teachers to hear what you want to say about manifestation, about spirituality, because myself, personally speaking, I'm too into this part, and I feel it has to be present in the educational system. We need to spend more time connecting with the kids. Now, no blame on anyone. We have rigid curriculum. We have a lot of workload on teachers. Maybe they don't have time to spend on thinking about that aspect. But from your experience, I think you presented last time a very success story around how you used manifestation in order to change the way your students behave. And we all know we are speaking about boys students, maybe in the primary with a lot of energy. And one of the problems, before I hear from you, classroom management and student behavior, it's a limitation. So this is everyone speaks of, especially in these days. So before you do this, I anticipate some people might not know what is manifestation. Can you tell us a little bit about the term itself?
Okay,
What is
yeah, I'll just
manifestation?
tell you. Of course, people have different perspective about manifestation, but for me, manifestation is all about energies and the connection around you with yourself. First of all, first
Mhm.
you have feel what you are feeling inside you. So if you start saying to yourself, okay, this is what I want to achieve in maybe 2 years' time, and you start believing that and start working towards it, believe me, the energies around you start helping you. The people around you start helping you because your vibes, your thoughts are so positive. And
Mhm.
I have experienced this myself, and I talk about whatever I've achieved in my life so far. It's completely on the way I believe in manifestation and spirituality, that these two terms change my life and the way I think. Like, when we go outside and even in the room, I feel the energy. I can see if it's positive vibes or negative vibes. Even if I'm going at my workplace in my classroom, I can feel that. I can feel when my students are unhappy. I can feel when they're happy. And it's nothing to do with, I believe, I should say, the classroom environment. It has nothing to do with your colleagues or the students. It's everything to do with your own self.
Mhm.
So once you start thinking positive, start loving yourself, and start believing everything around you is happening in a way it should be, things will work out. And there would be a way. You can see the way is coming on, and you can feel it. You can feel the vibrations, the energies around you, how strong it is, and it helps you to achieve. I'm not saying it's going to help, like, if someone is saying, okay, I did this, I thought it's going to happen in 1 week's time. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to be patient. You have to understand that it needs time. Even when you pray to God, right? What you believe, God is going to give you immediately something. You have to be focused, you have to work towards it, right? You have to do prayers. Like, if I talk about spirituality, it's very much connected to what you believe in,
Yeah.
you know so whatever you believe in, start believing that in a very positive way. But if you say, I'm doing my prayers every day, I'm asking this, but if your thoughts are negative, it's not going to work. You have to be so positive. You have to be so connected with your goals that you know that you want to achieve this. And believe me, everyone around you will start helping you to achieve that. And I have seen that, believe me, moving from my country, from India to UAE, to getting whatever I've achieved so far, including my kids, school, everything. And I'll give you an example. Even in school, sometimes when my kids are not behaving properly, I ask myself, what do I need to do different that they should start changing themselves? Because sometimes the discipline, or we can say the instruction, strict rules, doesn't work.
Mhm.
Sometimes you just have to talk to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I started doing yoga with my kids. I've done that this is one thing I do. I'm doing all the time. It's been 15 years I'm teaching. The first thing, I start my class with yoga.
With your
I
students.
Yeah, with my students. With my students. And when I was in India 15 years back, I was teaching grade 7. Okay, grade 7 and 8. I really made sure they are doing it. And they do listen. You just have to believe in yourself. And because, see, when you believe in yourself, you have positive energies. What you're giving to the other human? Positivity, right? But if you're feeling negative, what you're giving to the other human? Negativity. That's the whole process works. And I do yoga with my kids every day, and believe me, it helps them so much to be so good in the classroom. Whether you talk about behavior, whether you talk about learning, whether you talk about listening skills, everything. Even 30 minutes of yoga in the morning help them so much to be a better human being. Just even only the meditation, just close your eyes, think about the good things, what you have done so far, breathe in, breathe out. That helps them so much. And that's what I'm talking about, human connection.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
away from the screens. So we, as teachers, as adults, we should know how to balance it. What time, how much time they have to use technology or artificial intelligence, you talk about, as a tool in the classroom, and how much they have to connect to human beings. Like, they can do research work together, they can work together, they have the ideas, the creativity, their imaginations. Now they will enter the information on the iPad. This is what I'm thinking. Amazing. AI, ChatGPT is giving you ideas how to work on that. Amazing, well done. But it should not be maybe It should not be 7 to 8 hours, or it should not be continuously for 1 or 2 hours. You know, so it's our, as I said, it's our responsibility that we should know how to balance it. So, as teachers, if we start believing in positivity, manifestation, and start doing these things in the classroom, I think you don't have any issues when you talk about behavior issues. How many behavior issues we hear these days?
Yeah.
You know, emotions, students are struggling, especially, when you talk about the teenagers, they have so many issues.
Yeah,
How
I
can we
believe.
control that when you talk to them?
Yeah, I lost you for 1 minute.
Yeah, it's okay. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That we need to connect with them. We need to, and connection is only possible when you talk to them, when you give those positive vibes to them. Because the moment you think, this child is not listening me, or what you're getting, what energies you're getting in your mind, negative, right?
Yeah.
So the manifestation is what? Negativity. So what you will give it back to the nature, to the world, the people around you? Negative, right? But when you're thinking, okay, it's okay, the child is behaving like that, let's start something else. Let's use some other strategy to work on it. So again, what you're giving to the nature, the positivity, the vibes, positive. That's how manifestation work. The energies you're giving, the same energies you're going to get back. And that's how you achieve your goals. So
I
yeah,
I I agree with you, and I feel that it's a very difficult concept. You can tell people about it because it's about experience. Myself,
exactly.
I have experienced it. I went through meditation courses years back, and it helped me a lot in the way I deal with myself. This helped me a lot in the way I deal with others. And to your point, uh, 20 years back, how often we used to hear about bullying, cyberbullying, harassment. These didn't exist. They existed all the time, but it wasn't as much as today. And we are today more than ever in an urgency to focus on human connection, especially at the primary age, because those students, they have a tool in their hand that allow them to be exposed to unknowns we don't know.
Anything,
Maybe 5 minutes or 5 seconds a video can cause them a trauma, can cause them a traumatic effect that they cannot express to anyone.
I agree with
And
you.
and especially speaking about how the brain processes, there are a lot of information that we got from our childhood that is stuck in our subconsciousness, or we are not aware, but it has an effect. So it's very important to have this awareness you are mentioning around human connection, about taking care of how our kids feel, how they connect, and how they express. Because honestly speaking, they are living in a bit scary world. Let me not call it scary, in a less supervised world, less supervised. When I was a child, the only access to information was from my parents and from my teachers, and they used to control what I absorb, which
Exactly.
might not be the best way, because it creates people who have the same mind as their previous generation. It was limiting our opportunity to be open to new ideas. But today, what's happening is an opportunity. But as we are discussing, it's a scary word where you put a little kid in front of lot of resources and they are absorbing. So if we are unable to understand what they are feeling, they might develop maybe feelings or develop things in isolation without telling anyone. And this is so scary. And this is what creates more emotional problems, more
And we
traumas.
can't blame them, though. We can't blame them. I
Yes.
will blame an adult who is
Yeah.
observing, who knows, who is the reason why that screen, that iPad or the gadget in his hand. The moment you give the gadget to a child, it's your responsibility as an adult to make sure whatever they are watching should be good enough for them.
Yeah.
You know, what they're watching should help them rather than destroy them. That's very important, because otherwise, what's the need of a teacher in the classroom, or what's the need of parents at home if we don't know what our child is doing?
Mhm.
So the child is, I won't, if the child has a behavior issues where the child is on the iPad for 24 hours, I won't blame a child. I'm sorry, but I won't blame a child for that.
Yeah, researchers
You
are
know,
speaking a lot
doesn't know.
about.
The
Yeah.
child doesn't know that. We have to teach him, you know. That's a responsibility.
Yes, one of the things I've seen that, when kids play games, video games on the phone or iPad, they can control the game in a way that they move directly, they get rewards directly, they can just close it, turn into something else. So they are in control of what's gonna happen. And by time this develops something that they don't have patience in life. If they need something, they need it now because they control the way they enjoy this game to a point that they feel that other stuff in life can work or process in the same way. So I think there's a lot of responsibility that lies on us as parents, as
Exactly.
educators, as a community in general, all of us, because we are living in a it's a golden age for our evolvement as a human, but at the
It's,
same time
yes.
we need to be aware. We need to be aware. So one question I'm interested to know,
Okay.
how did your students respond when you first mentioned yoga in the classroom?
Okay, first they were not aware of it, to be really honest with you, and they were excited to know more about it. Especially I'm talking about boys. So whenever I used to miss 1 or 2 days, they have to like, Miss, can we go outside and do it, please? We're loving this. And I think initial stage, first 4 to 5 days, they were interested. And
Hmm.
then second week, they were like, no, it's boring. Then
Hmm.
I have to push them. Well, once it's like become the habit of them doing it every day, after a month or so they were like, Miss, we want to go outside. So I think it's something that you have to do it every day with them. It's not like even anything, even if you are, any kind of instructions you're giving to the students in regard to the behavior, you have to make sure you're following that every day.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
It's a process how the kids are processing this information. If you stop that even for 2 or 3 days, they forget that they're going to start doing it again, what they're
Yeah.
not supposed to.
Yeah.
So whatever you're introducing in the classroom in regards to anything, you just have to make sure that you're doing it regularly. That consistency should be there. That's very important.
And did you witness changes in their behavior in
Oh,
general in the school life, in
oh,
the school
definitely.
day?
Oh, definitely. They were more calmer. They were really calmer. And so we had these rules in the classroom. So we used to start with yoga. Okay. Then we will go do writing activities in the classroom. Then we have a timing. So if you do one writing lesson, you're writing your everything, whatever the topic has been given, doing a research work, everything, you will get 10 to 15 playtime, and that playtime includes your maths games or on iPads. So we had this time. So after every 2 sessions, I used to give them free time for 10 to
Okay.
15 minutes. It could be either taking them outside to play football, it could be either they are playing maths games or some other games on their iPads, or it could be any different activities. So they were actually involved. They were like, okay, if we're going to study for 2 lessons, Miss is going to give us break. So they were
Yeah.
always excited. So I'm not saying that they don't get bored. Of course, of course, they're boys. There would be behavior issues. But at the same time, it was manageable in the classroom. So, having said that, I'm saying boys have a lot of energy, a lot of energy. Teachers should know how to use that energy. you
Hmm.
know Sometimes we mistake, it's like I should say that we just mix behavior with their energy now.
Yeah.
Behavior issues are different, and how they utilize their energy is different. And once we know, we understand the difference between both, it will be very easy for us.
Yeah.
And believe me, all kids, even adults, they want to talk to you.
Yeah.
They want to tell you what's, my boys, I'll tell you, when we're sitting, it was like, okay, Miss, you know what happened? My sister did this, my sister. They have so many stories to tell you. Just sit and listen to them. They want to talk to you. They are not the one who wants to be in front of the screen all the time. No, they want to talk to you, but you have to show that you're interested. So
Yeah.
from day one, I would say like first month was tough. Then 2, 3 months, 4 months, I've seen a lot of changes in their behavior when they're going out, lining up outside the classroom. Initially, I had to tell them how to line up. After 2, 3 months, they know how to do that without my help. They know how to go outside without me following them. So these are the small things, but it takes efforts. You have to work with them to achieve these goals,
Yeah.
and just have small goals with them. Don't give them big ones because they won't be able to achieve.
Yeah.
I think as teachers, it's such a human connection is so beautiful. I love when I talk about it. It's one of my favorite topic. It's so beautiful. I think we are just don't know how to use it. Like when you say about artificial intelligence, I say human intelligence. Human connection is more about human intelligence, beautiful minds they have, imagination, creativity, the way they explain what they are doing. It's so beautifully explained by students these days. And if we start using technology as a tool, as a resource, it's going to help them. Wow, it's going to help them to do wonders in the classroom. But the moment the technology is taking the time more than required in the classroom, then we lost them. We literally lost them. So
Oh,
we
this
just
is
balance it.
this this is amazing. I've been a teacher for 15 years. I taught in UAE, and I taught boys and girls, and I do understand everything you're saying. And I have experienced this when my early years in education, I used to struggle. And the way I found myself doing better is connecting more with the students, speaking to them, building this. And I believe this is the nature of educators. By time we are spending time with those kids, but maybe the missing part that I used to have before is the awareness around mindfulness, my awareness around how to see beyond vision, how to see beyond your eyes, and how not to judge students. And this is a very important twist it was in my teaching career. When I stopped judging students as humans and try to just act upon their actions and react to what they do as if I want to punish them or I want to teach them how to act well, I felt that if we go more deeper into how they are feeling, what they are thinking when they did that, and the only way I experienced was to approach them, not to yell at them from 4 meters, maybe to postpone the situation and go approach that student who is misbehaving and speak to them. And honestly, this is not a yes or no or working or not. It always works. So to your
Well,
point, yes, human connection always works. You can always connect because this is our nature. This is what differentiates us from other living organisms, and this is what keeps us surviving is the communication that we have. And one more question, I'm really interested to know: is it something you do at school or only in your classes? Is it an initiative you started with, or the school started and you are doing it? I'm really curious to know.
okay, as a teacher, I'm doing it from last 15 years wherever I work. And in this school, the yoga, yes, I started that. But I'm really thankful to the management. Because sometimes I think you have to take a lot of permission when you're working in schools.
Yeah.
But I have so much freedom in my school when it comes to my classroom, that I don't have to, when my principal saw for the first time I was doing yoga outside with them, he was so impressed. So I do have a freedom how I am dealing
Mhm.
with my boys, teaching my boys in the classroom. It's not about the curriculum, okay, you always
Yeah.
have to follow the curriculum. It's more about their well being. And that's
Mhm.
so beautiful about our management in our school. They're so focused on their well being. So
Mhm.
these lessons okay, we have well being lessons, by the way, where we are introducing these yoga, the meditation. So we do have a well-being lessons that we are doing once in 2 weeks with our students. It could be maybe the grade 5 together or individually. So we have a proper curriculum for the well-being lesson where the students are doing a lot of different activities, maybe helping the younger students, maybe in reading classes. So there's
Mhm.
so many initiative has been taken because the focus again, when I talk about the focus, I've never seen, like I worked in previous school in British curriculum schools as well, where the focus is more on education. And I do understand the pressure the students were facing and the results and everything. But what I love about my current school is, this is going to be my fourth year, they are so focused on the well-being of a child. And that's beautiful because that's what the school needs to be
Yeah,
these days. We
I
need
agree.
as parents, as teacher, and I'm not talking about only students well-being, I'm talking about teachers well-being too. So school not only look after the students well-being, school needs to make sure the teachers are equally happy, the leaders are equally happy, because when the whole community of the school is happy, then only you can
Mhm.
succeed in life, whatever you're planning for that particular child as a whole. So it's more about the community. And as I told you, when I talk about manifestation, again, sorry, I'm bringing that topic again, but when I talk about positivity, it's positivity around you as in whole, when I talk
Yeah,
about adults. And in schools we talk a lot about students well-being, okay, what we can do to work on it. I think we should also focus on teachers well-being because teachers are equally struggling. you
true.
know they also need someone to talk to. They have so much pressure, they have so much targets to achieve. So as a whole, I think somewhere we all are struggling in our lives. So all I'm saying, try to help each other
Yeah,
rather than just lose those negative vibes. Just think of how you can be a better person and how can you help someone. Even if you're able to help one person one day or in a week, you achieved your goal. And that's so important. That's so important. Well-being is something, as I say, we are, as you mentioned, we are moving towards the age of AI. We have to take human connection with that. We have to make sure we are not leaving the human's feelings, the well-being of the human, and just taking AI forward. No, we should not be doing that because AI is there to help us.
yeah,
It's using as a tool to make our work easy, right? Because it has been created by a human. So if it cannot
exactly.
be better than a human, it cannot be better than a human because
Yeah,
it's called artificial intelligence, as I was talking about this earlier, right? So it's when I talk about human intelligence, it's so beautiful. We just need to understand it and we need to know how to use it. Once we understand that, I think each one of us will start helping each other, whether it's
exactly.
teachers, whether it's in office, whether it's leaders, whether it's students, anyone. We
Yeah,
just have to teach each other how to be nice, how to
true.
be positive, and that's what the human connection is all about. Now, the
Exactly.
memories, when you talk about memories, I have so many memories about my childhood. You might be having so many memories about your childhood. What memories are we giving to our current generation? What are they going to tell to their kids?
Big
Well, when
questions.
they exactly, like, it's a big question, if you look at it in that way.
Yeah,
So it's so important that we understand it right now so we know how to balance it. Of course, we cannot, AI is something or tools, technology is something, you cannot take that away from a child, no. But we are taking away the human connection.
hmm,
Like
hmm,
when you feel low, will you, as I told you earlier, will you open your, now again, when you feel low, what people are doing these days? Tell me. They're opening their iPads, they're just scrolling their Instagram videos, the Facebook. They are replacing their feelings with technology.
yeah,
But if they would have done, they don't have to replace their feelings with technology. They just need to talk to someone and have someone to listen to them, their family members, their siblings, their friends. And that's what I'm talking about. Don't replace your feelings with technology, with your iPads. Talk to someone. Half of your problems solve when you talk to someone and tell what you're feeling about. So yeah, I'm just
100%. And I think you've added a lot of amazing insights, that a lot of takeaways from what you're saying. And I think that sometimes the reason the reason of being low might be because we are exposed to too much social media. Maybe because we observe a lot of people, we compare. This is a fact nowadays. We are living in a very open social life, where your life isn't about the people that you know. Your life is about the people that you follow, the influencers that you watch, and all of them, they bring ideas. And what's scary, from my opinion, is I'm an adult, I'm an educator, I'm somehow have a mature mind in a way to judge things. And sometimes I dragged into absorbing maybe in new ideas that was not in my mind because there are people who are working around convincing you, putting stuff in your mind. And this is something we get trapped in as adults when we look at the phone we have, just looking in Instagram or TikTok and scrolling video after video. Sometimes we see stuff and we think that we need to change our life because maybe we can do better. And I think there is a lot of cases around that. So what if this is happening to kids or this is happening to teenagers who are more fragile, who are still building their lives? What about their self-esteem? What about a student who is not performing well and watching a lot of success stories and he or she can do nothing out of that? So here where we need to reinforce their self-esteem. And this is what you have shared in your video that I watched. Start by loving yourself in the way you are and
Very
start,
important.
yeah, because when we build these skills at young age, we will keep them immune for later. We know that they will be exposed. We know that life is challenging in their hands. Our life, and I always say this, always I heard people from my colleagues before and from our generation saying that our life was more challenging than those kids. They have everything. I think about it opposite way. Our life was more secured, was easier because we didn't have lot of choices. Whereas now their life is very challenging because they are exposed to everything. Sometimes a student in grade 12 doesn't know what to which school or college they want to study because all the options are accessible, all the options are there. So this is where our role comes for guidance, supervision, mentoring, giving them the wisdom, not the knowledge only, the wisdom. And I like what you are saying that yeah, they have access to knowledge, but maybe they don't know how to choose because choosing requires human intelligence, requires a certain level of judgment that people build over time. And this is what we got, maybe our students don't have. So if we are able to transfer this to students, supporting them in how you choose in life, how to think wisely about things, how to see the value of things, not just as materials, the impact, how to connect with family. These are very, very noble skills we can teach our students. Again, all what I'm saying is might be theoretical. The most important part, how we apply it, how we take this into the classrooms. And I'm happy that you have success stories with your kids, so that because some people look for solutions, some people look for the problems. And whenever, because there is the notion of toxic positivity, when you start speaking about positivity, some people don't accept it. They got frustrated or they got offended because someone's speaking about positivity. Because whenever you start thinking, they start imagining in their mind the problems. The first thing they would say, if I want to go to the classroom and tell them, before I start the lesson, we need to meditate for 5 minutes. So this teacher will say, oh, the students will make fun of me. No one will listen. It's going to be a waste of time. So there are some people that might think of the
Right.
problems directly. But if you think about the consistency, if you think about you do this practice with 20 students and 5 students were able to absorb and understand, this will influence them in the future, will influence their children. And go back to what we discussed earlier, that you started with your father, with your
Oh, yeah.
family in
Yes,
India.
exactly.
You took it to your kids at school. So
I
imagine,
always say our parents are our guru. The
yeah,
guru is teachers. Your parents are your first guru, your first teachers, because
yeah,
that's where you start your first lesson with them. When you're just born, you don't start your school immediately. You are with them
mm,
for 3 to 4 years, right?
yeah,
But
yeah,
how they are teaching you, what they are teaching you, I always say my dad is my first guru because he taught me what I am today.
yeah,
And again, as I told you, my dad clearly told me the moment you start thinking negative, that's what the vibes you're giving around. And
mhm,
that what's going to happen. Even if it's not going to happen, some positivity or the positive things are going to happen in your life, it will immediately change with your negative thoughts.
yeah.
And that's how, when you meditate, when you do yoga, when you manifest, all these things help you to build yourself into a better human being. When you said this, what if the people won't take the positive thoughts, they will take the negative thought. So what we can do in that, we can't change that person, can we can't. So we just have to move on.
Yeah,
Yeah, we have to move on, because our job is not to change their thoughts. They have to do it for themselves. If the
exactly.
person doesn't want to change, we can't do anything about it. But what can we do? We walk away from the places, from the people where we think it's uncomfortable for us, or it's not meant for us, you know but as you said about the students these days, especially when we talk about grade 12 students, a lot of issues. I agree with you. A lot of issues they're facing. But when you start providing that emotional support by the family, by the parents, they will change. You just have to tell your child, no matter how many times you fall, you will find your mom and dad standing next to you. Why can't we say that? We just have to tell them we are there for you. Just, you have to understand, they need to be confident enough to face this world. If we are replacing everything with the technology around us, what kind of confidence are we giving it to them? you know
Okay.
we
I
have
do agree.
to give them a lot more than only technology, a lot more than only AI. We have to give them, explain them, emotions, empathy is very important, especially in primary education, because that's the time they are actually building relationships. That's the age when they're building relationships. So yeah, that's all. Like, I'm
Exactly.
trying to explain. I don't know how much you agree or people will agree, but at the same time, saying this is something very important for us too. It's an eye opener for us.
Yeah, I do agree. It's very, very interesting topic, and I think if we want to proceed with this discussion, it's an endless discussion. We can speak a lot, because it's we are living in a very, very critical age where things are changing very quickly, and we need to take care of things that we don't want to change. And now maybe the trend is AI, and because the focus and the way algorithms are designed by engineers is that they bring for you all the popular topics. So maybe human connection, meditation, spirituality, mindfulness, it's not a hot topic that is brought to everyone. That's why I wanted to have this discussion with you, because I want to bring back to the picture the power of a human connection. And I want to stress, and myself, I would like to be from my side this a concluding statement that we need to be aware. We need to be aware on both AI and the human intelligence, human connection. We need to accept all, but we need to put human connection as the core. This is something we are doing with our team. Is we are working on AI solutions, but what we are doing is we are making sure that this AI supports a human to an extent that it can be acting as if it's an assistant or someone that's and part, because as you mentioned, AI is developed by humans. So at some moment we can decide how we use AI. Not AI can decide tell us what to do.
Exactly, I agree with you completely.
We can tell AI what we need. So if we are able to design AI solutions that support humans' needs, then we are going to the right direction. For example, if we are able to develop AI tools that support well-being, that support emotional and social learning, and this is not something difficult. And definitely in this process, we need human interface. We need a human to be there. AI can support us. For example, if I have a student with a certain difficulty, so I don't have to be an expert in special educational needs. I can use AI to recommend for me how to adjust the lesson.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
is a good use of AI. And the same
True.
thing for the student. As long as we keep an eye, we give them guidelines, we make sure that in the activities we are designing, there is a room for them to express themselves, to speak, to turn off the laptop and still maintain the knowledge here, then definitely AI is supporting human race in evolution. Yeah.
That's this amazing point that you have said. Artificial intelligence is there to support human being. It's not the other way around. And
Yes.
that's what the message we have to tell everyone around us, or we have to give them this message that it's so important that we understand the
Yeah.
difference between these two terms. You know, we
Exactly.
should not, AI should not overtake human connection, but we should know how to use AI to help human
Yes.
beings.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
amazing. So thank you so much for this.
And thank you. Actually, one last thought. What must be done, from your opinion, if you do have an answer for this question? What must be done to turn what you're doing into a school thing and maybe into a nation thing, so that we can have better impact? What are the steps that are needed? If I ask you, for example, Vineet, give me a strategy. How can we take what you're doing, maybe implementing half an hour each day? What is needed to make this more
Talk to
generalized?
them. I will say just talk to your students. Let them tell you stories. Let them tell you what they're feeling. Let them come with the ideas. Like now, the school is going to start in 2 weeks' time or 3 weeks' time. Ask them how they want their classroom to look like. Ask them what are their expectations from the teachers. Ask them what they're feeling. Ask them how they want their teachers to behave with them, how they want their friends to behave with them. What are their expectations? Sit with them, talk to them. What they want, what are their expectations from the lessons? What they want a teacher should give them, you know? So it's more about what the child needs in the classroom. And believe me, 95% of the students will not say that we want our gadgets. They won't
Mm,
say that. We want gadgets or we want iPad. No, they won't. Unless and until you start doing that,
yeah, yeah.
you know? So just talk to them, maintain that human connection, build the relationship, let them talk to their friends. Building relationship, emotional intelligence, empathy should be the base in the primary education, because they are our young generation, they are our future generation. We have to make sure their feelings can be expressed, you know, their emotions can be expressed. They should not hide behind the iPads. You know, they should be able to express themselves to an adult, to teachers, to friends. That's all I'm saying.
Thank
So
you so
just
much.
spend time with them.
And I hope this message goes to policymakers and decision makers and think about implementing this as a higher level planning, so that even all teachers are aware of that and all teachers invest some time with their students to speak about human connections. It doesn't have to be yoga, it can be any kind of
Yeah,
self
exactly.
reflection, communication, just communication. Thank you so much, Vineet, for your valuable time. And I really enjoyed this. Even though you didn't drink tea, I almost finished my cup.
Same here, same here. I enjoyed. I
I'm
enjoyed
looking
this.
forward for more discussions on this topic. Have a great day.
Thank you
Bye
so
bye.
much. Great day. Bye
Bye.
bye.